On the latest episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, he gave his take on the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Take a look.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want
to... attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid shit on a regular basis. They just happen to coincide. But can I just say this? I had on last week, politics in this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up, and Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior, woke story in the news.
Joy Behar just faced a devastating reality check. Bill Maher delivered a verbal annihilation so ruthless that even her most devoted supporters are struggling to defend her. Social media is ablaze, and The View's credibility is taking yet another hit. So what exactly did Behar say that triggered Maher's full-force rebuttal? It all started when she dismissed Caroline Leavitt's appointment, claiming it had nothing to do with merit and everything to do with appearance.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Yes, you heard that right. The same Joy Behar, who has been spouting absurdity for years without anyone questioning her own credentials, had the nerve to degrade Leavitt's professional achievements with a shallow, baseless remark. Even when her co-hosts attempted to correct her with actual facts, she ignored them and stubbornly doubled down. That's when Bill Maher stepped in, not with a simple counterpoint, but with a complete demolition. His response was so cutting, so unfiltered, that Twitter erupted into chaos. Buckle up, because this is about to get messy.
But isn't it interesting that it's called, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America. There is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit.
Maher didn't just call out Behar. He dismantled The View as a whole. He pointed out that the show isn't about real debate or discussion. It's a scripted echo chamber where dissenting voices are immediately shut down. And who's leading the charge in silencing any opposing views? Joy Behar, of course. The moment Alyssa Farah Griffin dared to challenge Behar's ridiculous assertion about Leavitt, Behar nearly short-circuited. Because in her world, disagreeing with her isn't just incorrect, it's blasphemy. But Maher wasn't having it. He went straight for the hypocrisy, exposing the show's obsession with groupthink and the blatant suppression of genuine discourse.
Politics in this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up, and Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior, woke story in the news. They're the party that disappears people or tries to make them apologize for ridiculous.
And here's the kicker. If Caroline Leavitt were a Democrat, Behar would be hailing her as a trailblazer, showering her with praise, and likely getting emotional about breaking barriers. But because Leavitt was appointed under Trump, none of that matters. Suddenly it's all about her appearance because that's the intellectual depth of The View. Imagine if someone had said the exact same thing about a left-wing woman. Behar would be screeching about sexism, demanding apologies, and calling for immediate cancellation, but when she does it, crickets. Maher wasn't the only one who torched her hypocrisy. Greg Gutfeld took it to the next level. And trust me, you don't want to miss his take.
Is she really a 10? We'll be right back.
Jesse with a 7.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
He pointed out that Behar's comments weren't just offensive, they were a textbook example of the very prejudice she claims to oppose. Behar reduced Caroline Leavitt's success to her looks, because apparently women can only succeed on merit if they align with Behar's political ideology. But here's the reality. Leavitt is at the White House excelling in her role, proving she's the real deal. Meanwhile, Behar resorts to cheap, baseless insults. Maybe it's just jealousy. According to Gutfeld, Behar's outburst had nothing to do with political analysis and everything to do with resentment. He didn't hold back, suggesting that Behar, who is light years away from a 10, might be projecting her own insecurities. Ouch.
She's the ever-empowering feminist, Joy herself, everyone. And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Caroline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees.
This isn't the first time Joy Behar has put her own hypocrisy on full display. She constantly cries sexism whenever a conservative critiques a left-wing woman, yet she has no issue reducing Caroline Leavitt to nothing more than her appearance. The same crowd that champions diversity, equity, and inclusion suddenly has no problem objectifying a woman when it serves their narrative. Meanwhile, Leavitt is proving her worth through intelligence, skill, and competence, three things Behar conveniently ignores. If Leavitt were a 25-year-old liberal, Behar would be singing her praises, calling her a revolutionary. Instead, she dismisses her entirely. Maybe Behar is just salty that her own resume wouldn't even qualify her to answer phones at the White House, let alone lead a press briefing. And if you think this is an isolated case, think again. Remember when Joy Behar accused people of sexism simply for disliking Kamala Harris's infamous ear-piercing cackle? Yes, really.
What really ticks me off about him, though, is this laughing Kamala remark. It's such a sexist remark, because a guy I was with over the weekend, a friend of mine, they said Kamala's laugh annoys me. Remember they said that about Hillary's laugh, that she was cackling. And men, you know, they don't like a funny woman. We're afraid if you laugh or you make a joke, that maybe you'll do that when they're in bed with you. It's like this fear.
Ben Shapiro saw right through the nonsense and obliterated Behar's argument instantly.
If you don't like Kamala Harris's weird cackling, it's because you fear her in the boudoir?
Huh?
That's a theory there, Joy. I feel like, given her personal history, I mean, Willie Brown and all, that's probably not what people are thinking about Kamala Harris when they are thinking about that type of activity, but sure, go with that.
He said what we were all thinking. Kamala Harris's laugh isn't criticized because of sexism. It's criticized because it's objectively unbearable. Not everything is some grand conspiracy against women. Sometimes people just find an awkward, misplaced cackle annoying. Shocking, right? But, of course, the woke mob can't accept that. They have to turn every critique into some kind of ism. Dislike a laugh, misogynist, criticize a policy, bigot. Prefer your coffee black, white supremacist. See the pattern? It's all about labeling, silencing, and controlling the narrative. Because the second they actually have to debate their ideas, the whole house of cards collapses.
This idea that Trump won with some kind of mandate is not true. I mean, we have information there. He beat Kamala Harris by 1.6%. Joe Biden beat Trump by 4.5%, and nobody said it was a mandate. So get that out of your lips, out of your mouth. These people were saying it's a mandate. It's not a mandate.
Joy Behar, once again, is very confused. The reason that Trump is said to have a mandate here is not because he won the election by 1.6%. He didn't win the election by 1.6%. He won the election in a landslide. He got 312 electoral votes. Electoral votes is what determines who wins the presidential election. He only needed 270 to win, and he got 312. Totally destroyed Kamala Harris. That number, the 1.6 or 1.8% that she's referencing, is the popular vote. Trump also won the popular vote. First time a Republican's done that in 20 years.
Huge.
Democrats have an advantage in the popular vote because Republicans generally don't campaign in the big Democrat states, New York and California, because the Democrats are going to win it anyway. It's a waste of campaign dollars and time.
And yet again, Joy Behar proudly parades her ignorance, only for Michael Knowles to obliterate it without breaking a sweat. It's been months since Trump's historic victory, yet Behar and the Democrats are still stuck in denial, flailing like sore losers. At this point, they'd rather rewrite history than face reality. Conspiracies? Check. Wild accusations? Check. Maybe even a seance to summon Hillary Clinton's lost emails, anything to discredit Trump's success. But every time they try, they get wrecked by people with actual functioning brains like Bill Maher and Michael Knowles, who expose their hypocrisy with surgical precision. You'd think after being humiliated on repeat, The View would learn its lesson. But nope. Self-awareness has never been their strong suit.
This was Joy on The View on Friday.
What was your reaction? Well, my reaction was I was at Costco buying, 10 boxes of Keurig coffee, and my watch started to buzz, and I got so excited I started leaking a little bit.
Just when you didn't think you could be more upset, you have to picture Joy Behar's vagina. I'm sorry.
Leaking at a Costco.
I don't want it. I didn't want any of the events that happened late last week. What's going on? Why? There's such a thing as TMI. There really is. It was inappropriate. She's inappropriate. It was disgusting, and no one wants to be thinking about that. But on the larger point, that's how rabid they are. Mm-hmm. Like, it literally caused her to pee her pants. She was so excited to see Donald Trump convicted, like a 3-year-old seeing Goofy at Disney.
And get this. Behar got so overwhelmed hearing about Trump's conviction that she reportedly had an accident while shopping at Costco. Yes, really. The self-proclaimed intellectual heavyweight of The View apparently lost control right there in the frozen food aisle. Of course, conservative commentators didn't let this golden moment slide. Kelly ripped her apart with her signature razor-sharp wit, proving once again that Trump doesn't just live rent-free in Behar's head. He's got full control over her bladder, too. Let's be real. If a conservative admitted to something this embarrassing, Behar would spend weeks cackling about it on air. But since it's her, we're expected to pretend it's some sort of heroic act of resistance? Give us a break. Maybe next time she should focus less on Trump and more on adult diapers. Just a thought.
Okay, Joy is okay, but it was a scary moment at first when she missed her mark trying to sit down and her swivel.
At this point, it's obvious. Joy Behar isn't going anywhere no matter how many ridiculous things she says. The View is too addicted to its own delusions to quit now. But luckily, Bill Maher and his army of truth bombers aren't backing down. They're ripping apart the hypocrisy, exposing the nonsense, and making sure the world sees it all. This battle isn't just about politics, it's about truth versus propaganda. And if there's one thing that's clear, it's that logic and reason always win in the end. What do you think about Joy Behar's meltdown? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more explosive content. Stay tuned. This drama is only getting started.